When was the last time you ordered online? I'm sure a good number of people who are watching this video shop online or keep surfing through different stores uh, to keep a watch on those products that you wish to buy, or you eager to keep knowing about what's happening around, what's new coming in, and that is online shopping is growing, and it's growing rapidly. Hello everyone, my name is Edward. I'm a digital solutions architect. My online digital journey started as an online seller on eBay. It dates back to I started around in 2005, 6, a little before Flipkart. I'm a little proud of it. It was the experimenting time. I was experimenting a lot on how to sell, how people look out for a product. I started selling books online. I was glad I was able to sell books to each and every state in the country back then. It was a wonderful experience. So, as this entire exploration of selling online led me to explore a lot of tools that people used to sell online, there was a lot of tools like, um, back then there was Zencart or OS Farms. These were certain tools that were people used to sell online, and it's definitely grown. There are rock solid solutions today available like Shopify or e-commerce or Magento, multiple as such. And this growth has been really good if you go to see in terms with technology and but more importantly, it's been fueled by the demand of people who have been purchasing online, and this growth is really very strong, and it's definitely going to keep growing more and more only. So, but how did it all start? As in, when did e-commerce start all over again? It dates back about 40 years back. So let's just deep dive in and just keep, look back to the past and see what was the little history of how e-commerce grew, how it all started, and to where it is today. So what is e-commerce in a very simple way? But like, we all know that we shop online, there are tools available, but in a very generalistic way, if we have to look at it, let's say e-commerce, which is also known as an online commerce or online shopping or an internet commerce, it's more of a business model that refers to buying and selling the products or services that people offer using the internet. So it's in a very simple way doing business over the internet without having to visit a physical store. Yes, you do not need a physical store. You can just make your products available to the people using the power of the internet, and that's how e-commerce works. And just to go down to the timeline now, as we're going into the history of e-commerce, it dates back to about 1969. uh, there was a company called CompuServe, which was founded in 1969 in the US. It was founded by electrical engineering students Dr. John Goles and Jeffrey Wilkins. Now, this was built over a dial-up connection that, like people who are aware of the dial-up connection system that was there. So it was built over utilizing a dial-up connection, and there was a lot of information exchange that used to happen with CompuServe. And CompuServe introduced some of the earliest forms of email and internet connectivity to the public, and they really dominated the entire landscape through the mid 90s. As such, they definitely, and today, if I'm not wrong, CompuServe is owned by Verizon. Uh, Now, 1979 was a remarkable year when an English inventor, Michael Aldrich, he invented, he's called the father of e-commerce. If you can read about him, he actually invented electronic shopping, uh, connected modified TV to a transaction processing computer via the telephone, the dial-up connection system that there was there relevant around then. so which actually made possible for uh, information systems to be opened and shared by multiple people around the network using a secured data transmission. And as I said, there was a lot of information exchange that was happening. So Michael Aldrich is someone that you need to read up, and it's an interesting piece of uh, knowledge that you can have if you're very keen on e-commerce. Now comes 1982, where there was another milestone that was achieved, was the Boston Computer Exchange. They launched in 1982. They were the first e-commerce company, like a proper e-commerce company that was built. They used to, it actually acted as a marketplace for people to sell their old computers. And back then, computers were expensive. So it when you want to buy a new one, you tend to sell the old ones, unlike these days. But then came, so there were a lot of more innovations in between. I'm just going and touching bases on important milestones. So in 1992, there was this company who started selling books online. One of the first guys who started selling online books. We call it Books That's Unlimited. Um, it was started by Charles and Stack, and it was again like a dial-up bulletin board. Um, Now, in the 1994, it started using the internet and started operating under the name called Books.com, which then was bought over by Barnes and Noble. So these were like the first foundation stones to the online store for books that started. Now comes in 1994, there was Netscape Navigator that was launched as a web browser. There were previous browsers like Loom and a couple of them that had come, like the World Wide Web, which was the first one. And there were multiple, but Netscape Navigator, which was created by Mark Anderson and Jim Clark, uh, actually made it more easier for people to browse. It was a much more simpler browser, more visually effect appealing. It was easy to use, and it became the primary web browser on the Windows platform. And Windows was growing just fast, so it kind of became easy for people to start using a browser. Um, and I think these were the Netscape was something which was used by almost everybody back then. Then came, Amazon. You can see Jeff Bezos sitting in one of his first offices. That's how he started way back in 1995. They definitely gave a huge competition to Barnes and Noble's Books.com. And today, where Amazon has led from the books category. Today, they are into each and every possible category that you can think of. 1998, PayPal payment gateway started. They started helping, offering payment solutions, which actually pushed a lot more people to go online as such. Multiple founders again on PayPal, from an Elon Musk to Peter Thiel and multiple more people. This is one startup that a lot of people look up to or have been inspired by. Then came Jack Ma with Alibaba in 1999, the B2B marketplace for the world. And then there was no stopping after that. Alibaba, how it's grown. Um, Google was there before the 2000s as well. I mean, they had started with the online search, and um, but their tool, Google AdWords, was launched in around the 2000s, October 2000, I think October 23, 2000 or so is the date where they launched Google AdWords with an online advertising tool, the first online advertising tool which was led by the public, where it was a bidding system for the ads and all of that. And this drove in a lot of ways for e-commerce businesses to advertise to people using the Google. So people started using Google a lot, and this Google AdWords became a medium for a lot of other businesses to reach out to their target audience and showcase their businesses and all of that. With the help of text ad copy and display URLs, online retailers began using the tool in a pay-per-click model. which is called pay per click (PPC), as in you only pay when someone clicks it. And PPC's advertising efforts were separate from the search engine optimization, which is today where a lot of people speak about it. And post the 2000s, as you see, with a lot more innovations, there were a lot of stories. Facebook came in, Shopify came in, Instagram, WhatsApp. You can think of hundreds of online shop, the e-commerce stories that are there in front of you. It's just growing rapidly at a very fast pace. I'm sure that you would also be having some idea that you would want to sell and want to make it the next big thing. Um, and right now, as I'm making a video, you know how the COVID-19 scenario is going out. People are staying back at home. A lot of shops online. The offline brick and mortar market is kind of shut shop. So a lot of people have started buying online, even to the fact that your groceries, your medicines, or your everything that you want, you're actually going. So the COVID scenario has actually pushed the e-commerce transactions. If you go down to see which the estimated stats that were there, which e-commerce was supposed to reach, we've reached uh, at least a 5 year projection that was there for 2025. We've actually reached into 2021 because of the COVID scenario. A lot of people have started buying online. Consumers have started moving online to make purchases normally made, which was in the physical store. That is, as I said, the groceries, your household items, your apparels, your entertainment. So, but we hope the COVID scenario subsides, everyone's safe, and uh, things go back to normal. But this jump of people going and shopping, it's kind of a pattern. It kind of becomes a habit, and then it becomes convenient for a lot of people. And that's not going to stop even after COVID. People are not going to stop buying from online. Now, this is a data from Statista. Um, how it was projected for e-commerce industry across India, as in like I'm specifically speaking in India, from 2014 to 2018. You can see it, how the jump has been, and from 21 to 25, the kind of projections that was there with respect to in $1 billion projections up to 2025. Now these data was done before pre-COVID scenario, and as I said, we've actually been able to catch up to those kind of figures much earlier, and it's just going to keep rising. Oh yeah, there is a trivia, as everyone likes shopping. Does anybody who know who was the first guy who started online shopping in India? That's K. Vaitishwaran. He started Fabmart.com, uh, and he was way ahead of his time. He started in the 90s. This is before all the Bunsers and all of those people who've done well, and all the people that we know. And Fabmart definitely went down and got sold to, I think, Aditya Birla Group also. But he continued his journey with another company, as in he just renamed his brand and started under India Plaza, if I'm not wrong. And you've got to read about him. He is a brilliant person. You can read about him a lot. There's a lot of articles on the internet. You can speak, and that's about it. If you wish to discuss your e-commerce project, if you've got any ideas that you want to discuss, I'm open to discussions always. You can reach me out on these credentials, or you can email me or call me at any given point of time. Uh, that's it for now. Thank you.